Jigga man.
Yeah, we on. We on. I was gonna switch over to YouTube. I got Facebook up right now, and I think I'm gonna just keep it on. We'll just keep the screen on Facebook this time because I don't want to.
Bubby.
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up. Big guy,
What
you
up,
saying
cuz?
hi? Say hi to the people, my man. No, with your mouth, man. Say it with your face. There you go. There you
There
go.
we go.
There
What
you
up,
go.
cuz?
So give me 1 second, cause how's your week been so far?
Man, other than the heat we've been going through, the week been pretty solid. It done beat me up a couple times, this week, but the humidity is just treacherous out here in St. Louis. That I think that's what really gets it, what I'm saying? Outside it being 100 plus, the humidity be horrible. I mean, you walk outside, you can't even it take your breath one time for the one time. So
Yeah, I gotta admit, I do not miss Midwest St. Louis humidity. It's a
man,
whole nother animal that
the
I ain't
kids
even
been
good on.
right. The kids been getting out, they've been playing, they've been coming in smelling like outside and the
Mm,
dogs, like our mama used to tell us we used to smell like.
this this little guy, man, I walked past him one day. I was like, "Oh no, bro, you smell like outside. You gotta fix that
Only certain
because
people know what outside smell like.
right, it was bad.
It's
It was
great.
bad.
And
I see Josh, like, Illinois represent. But what else been up with you, Cuzzo?
man, nothing but dealing with all these little bad kids in the neighborhood too, you know what I'm saying? I got my own little hooligans, you know what I'm saying? And then now they got little friends, but we gonna talk about that later on and what got me
All
effed
right,
up.
I
But
feel you. I
you
got
know
you.
what I'm saying? It's but these little hooligans and these parents, yeah, they need to police our kids, man. Come on now.
Oh, got to police them up. We're gonna be talking about that a little bit later on. Also, hey Al, thanks for hopping on so soon. I my weeks have blurred together. Everything has just conjoined at the hip. I've been going pretty hard at it since the 31st of May at the gig, and the day when I had a day off, I spent that washing clothes, cooking. Can I get some space, please, sir? Cooking.
You got
Um,
co-host, man. He filling in for Wanda, man. Let him fill in
right.
for Wanda.
I need to go set up another computer for him to hop on. Uh, I'm doing hair. I put twist in my youngest daughter's head. That took all day, because I did a wash and a conditioner and let it dry, and then we started
You,
twisting. Yeah, yeah. I ain't got nobody else here to do it for me.
I got you. I got
So that's how I spent my day off. That was it. So it's been a long time coming, and we wrapping everything up Sunday, and then to uh
you.
I'm
Was it
heading out to
Chicago?
Missouri.
Okay. Been going to
I'm heading out
another
to
world
Chicago,
tour. Huh?
so yeah, it's that time. It's that time because I'm gonna soon be hitting an island up. So yeah,
Man, it's been a
I'm trying to
long
see what's going
time,
on.
man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. I'm trying to take a vacation and just sleep. Honestly, that's the only reason why I want to go on vacation, so I can go to sleep.
So you can sleep,
That's it.
man. Stop it.
So my
Okay.
my my other daughters just getting home. They went swimming. Hey, baby. And they left the door open, the front door, because why would you close it after you come in the house?
What? What got you effed up when we get there, man? It's coming sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. It's coming sooner than we think.
I'm trying to figure it out. She walked smooth in the house. Last one, nobody behind her, but her in the door. She wasn't gonna close it until I said something. Kids, kids. So yeah, that's what's been up with me, man. Just trying to maintain until the end of this whole cycle, and then my lady and I, my woman, we gonna head out to Jamaica, and while she doing her thing for her cousin's wedding, I'm gonna be doing my thing sleeping.
At a wedding?
Yeah, so she's got a cousin that's getting married out in Jamaica. That's the reason why we're going.
What I'm
And
saying, you gonna be sleeping during the wedding, cuzzo?
no, I'm attending the wedding and a couple of
Okay,
events,
okay,
but
okay.
I gotta I'm locked
Overall,
out. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. At first I was like, yeah,
what up,
Jamaica,
Wanda?
go turn up. But
Oops,
nah.
go ahead,
Hey,
cuz.
Juan.
Hope you enjoy yourself tonight. Wanda probably in Jamaica somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So just to let y'all know, Wanda ain't gonna make it on with us. She gonna be in the comments though. So by all means, keep rapping with her, keep talking to us. Uh just to throw this out here, and we can swing back around to this later on during the podcast. But for those of y'all watching who may not have known, Roe v. Wade was overturned at the federal level today.
Mm.
And I know there's a lot of people upset about that, but we'll talk a little bit later on. I'm gonna write it down as a note. Uh, we'll talk about what it all means and what it comes out to being, and how we can move forward together as a country, because it's a tough hit at the federal level. That's the honest truth about it. The
Yeah, my
honest.
little hooligan, man, they've been beefing all day, and they've been around each other too long. I mean, try separating them, but then I love my brother.
Right.
You was just fighting with your brother, But what do you do? What do you do?
That's a good question. What do you do? Let them
Man,
fight it out. Go get some. What I was thinking about doing is, I'm not gonna get any boxing gloves, but what I am gonna do is go get like some Nerf bats, the soft bats, with some safety gear, some mouthpieces.
you might
Go
be
out in
on.
the backyard.
You might be on to something right there, sir.
Go out in the backyard and let's figure it out. Let's
Mm.
figure it out. See what the real is. So
I already know when it comes to that who he really is. So I've been trying to get baby boy to defend himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, bro. I done watched this too many times. I'm not gonna keep watching it.
so Wanda, I see you made a comment that says we need to govern ourselves. Are you talking about Roe v. Wade? And if so, how do we govern ourselves? Elaborate on that a little bit, because I don't disagree with the comment. I just want to see from what perspective you're talking about it in. So she heading over to YouTube. Hey, go over to YouTube, give us a like and a follow, the Family Bloodline podcast, and we're here to talk about it. So we actually got. I'm going to go over to YouTube also, uh, and I'm gonna go keep it on my page.
I
And
need
go
I need to
live.
get my page back up and active. You know what I'm saying? Since the whole hacking and everything, I ain't been back on. I ain't wanna drag the bloodline down with everything I got going on with just my one account with the Facebook account. So
Yeah. And so I got another friend request, and I'm glad you said that, because I was trying to make sure it was from you. All
yeah, it's probably me.
right.
If it got a pose, my sister say I got that uncle pose. I say what? She say, yeah, all the uncles take that same pose, that same angle when they take a picture. I
What?
say, man, picture, I don't
Uh,
know,
I
whatever
gotta
my
check it
picture
out
is
now.
on my little profile pic. She say that's what all uncles take on they I'm like, boy, you silly.
I'm gonna have to check it out. That's a must. But okay, so this is what Wanda's talking about. Hey, Josh, hey, thanks for the subscription on YouTube, bruh. I appreciate it. So Wanda, in response to Roe v. Wade, said the people need to take back our power and let the people lead. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Wholeheartedly.
That was the
Wholeheartedly.
conversation you was having with me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? What you let me know, yeah. So
yeah. But
yeah,
before
we
we
all three on the forward.
right, and so before we run down that rabbit hole, let's let's go ahead and hop into the topics. Dang, I'm tripping. I usually had this up and had that going. We started talking, and that threw me all off. I was
We just got into it.
yeah, dang, my bad. So pushing the conversation forward. Let's talk about Auntie Sue Bird retiring.
Yeah.
She's going out of the WNBA. She's going out. I can't remember.
No relation to Larry Bird.
No relation to Larry Bird whatsoever. Whatsoever.
Oh, hold on, my twins trying to decide if they going over grandma's house or if they gonna stay here. But they got karate class in the morning, so
That'd be the crushing.
oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
let everybody know in the comments. We're gonna come back around to Roe v. Wade a little later. But absolutely want to see the comments about it. But right now we're talking about Sue Bird retiring from the WNBA. Want to give her a shout out on
Yes, yes.
a stellar career, as a matter of fact, six-time gold Olympian,
Okay.
one of the leading assists uh, players in WNBA, bar
Okay.
none. She was always a beast. What's going on, big bro? Come through with the
Here
basketball smash.
we go, man. Here we go. We paying homage to all. We pay homage to all. You know what I'm saying? The great.
Absolutely, absolutely. We give it. We and see. I don't even know if she's gonna see this, but in the event that she does, she's got to know that she's celebrated, and we appreciate her contributions to the WNBA, as well as women's basketball on a global scale. So, what else you got on that, Cuzzo?
You pretty much hit it on the nail. Such a collegiate athlete at University of UConn. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
held down from '98 to 2002. Did her thing. I mean, going out on top. She
Yeah.
announced at the end of this year she'll be retiring. So hats off, like you say. We just wanted to give her roses while she was here. We forgot to do it with Big Pat Saragusa. You know what I'm saying? He passed. So we missed that. So now we paying homage to another great while she's here.
Yep.
Hats off to her. Round of applause to her.
I'll give her that. I'll give her that. We'll give her rounds of applause for sure. She deserves that. Absolutely. All right. So now let's push the conversation forward and let's get into harder conversations, as it were.
This guy. I love him.
DSP and their sports network. Hey, because you need to make that trend. Hashtag that.
I will. I got more
That word.
sports, because actually the commanders they are under investigation at the federal level of the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. For what?
A unsafe workplace and you know what I'm saying, harassment
Already?
and all that. Yeah. And on top of that, the owner, Daniel Snyder, he done got hit with, oh my God, what my notes? Like a $10 million fine. Or it was probably more than that. You know what I'm saying? He got hit with a fine for interfering with the investigation and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So to the point where Roger Goodell, he was speaking on the commissioner for the NFL was speaking, and he was the one that was saying that it was a lot of unsafe and I'm like more from dirt next week. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Let me
We
write
gonna
that
get that
down. More to
going.
follow on the Capitals. Yeah.
We,
More to follow.
I had more. You know what I'm saying? We gonna. Also, you know what I'm saying, the honorable mention that they gave for Brittany Griner. But as well, we all know that the situation going on with Miss Griner, but hope all that turn around and she get to be that alternate for Sue Bird when she retires. So
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And since you mentioned that, because I was gonna give her an honorable mention a little later on.
mhm,
My question is, why
mm,
haven't we heard more on her story,
mm,
on Sister Brittany Griner's story? I went and I looked up a few articles, but there was not much to read at all. There was not much to read. There's not much to catch up on with the case. There's everything's hush hush. It's not a pub. They're not publicizing.
yes, it's short and hush hush. You know what I'm saying? And even after we came out and said that she was wrongfully detained, still no action has been taken. So
Nothing.
yeah,
Nothing. She's just
something to
been
speak
hanging
about.
out. I wish American citizens would get as upset about an American citizen being illegally detained or arrested in a foreign country as they do somebody walking down the street kicking a damn dog.
Somebody on our own soil, you know.
Right. So
So
we've got a person who could be potentially a diplomatic prisoner of war at this point, being held and with the potential of being used as a bargaining chip later on in this foolish Russian Ukraine war, if America decides to go to jump all in with this crap, and which hopefully we won't. But
I hope,
I think that she's simply being used as a future bargaining chip, and they're not letting her go because of that. So, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm
yeah,
wrong.
you know.
So, yeah, since we already having hard discussions, let's keep it going. Let's keep talking tough discussions, and let's talk about what happened not too long ago. And I actually, so this picture was taken from a video that I was watching of the 13-year-old identified only as AG being shot, uh, being shot while unarmed and his hands raised, although he was running from the cops, which doesn't qualify the death penalty. Um, but again, shot underage, 13 years old, by uh, Chicago PD at this point at 13.
Yeah.
And I'm outdone.
It's alarming. It's alarming. I got a 13-year-old male, He- and first of all, we gotta talk about the crime that was took on. Like it was like on Monday, a Honda was stole. Somebody left their keys in their car. Like I don't know if they warming it up. I don't know why you warming it up. Or probably cooling it off in this weather. Left their keys in the car, carjacking. They hopped in, drove off. Like it was a Honda Accord. The following day, uh, a Honda CRV, same situation. Somebody was warming up their vehicle. Somebody hopped in the vehicle, drove off. But this situation, it was a 4-year-old in the back seat. So they had to, ain't nobody driving with no bad kids or, what I'm saying, not no bad kids, but just no kids, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the court was quickly, what I'm saying, confiscated with the child. So no harm was done, but because the lady broke her clavicle trying to hold on to the door while he drove off in the vehicle. So then with the Honda Accord, with that vehicle driving around, it kept popping up on the police license registry. You know what I'm saying? That's a stolen vehicle. So it kept popping up. Once it popped up, about 10 o'clock that night, they flagged them. You know how the cherries pop, and they owned them. They pulled them over while the police were approaching the vehicle. One of the suspects hopped out. AG, as you spoke about, he hops out the vehicle. He starts running. The driver of the vehicle takes off. To this day, they still don't know who the driver of the vehicle is. You know what I'm saying? Where he's at, he's still not apprehended. But AG running down the block gets apprehended not apprehended, but he's running down the. Go ahead, Jig. I ain't mean to take over the
No,
story.
I was letting you go because you were hitting it. So a 13-year-old hops out. He was the passenger of a stolen vehicle. He hops out the vehicle and begins to run. So there's a short pursuit by Chicago PD. Um, they begin to yell at him different directives for him to follow. Put his hands up, turn around, so on and so forth. He complies and still gets shot. Unarmed 13-year-old. So where do we go with this, U.S. citizens? Where do we go with this? I mean, and I don't have the most respect for I can't think of a foot, Lightfoot, Littlefoot, but there's got to be more that happens in the Chicago area to mitigate a lot of the crime that's happening, especially a lot of the crime that's happening to kids and happening involving kids. And it's not just that. And this
I
that I
want
got
to
to
answer that. No, he didn't die. He's in critical condition as we speak, but he didn't die. You know what I'm saying? As we know of at this time. So
yeah. So it begins to become exactly how and why, more so how are is the state of our policing, right? Is it to the point to where every aggression or every infraction is met with lethal or potentially lethal force?
Only when you play.
Are
I think
they
it's in like certain areas like they really target as like there are no more human beings. This area is like they're savages, they're animals, you know what I'm saying? I think that's how the policing go on in like certain realms. So in this particular part of the city, it's been nothing but carjackings going on.
yeah.
Yeah, but they term a carjacking nowadays is people leaving their keys in the car as opposed to a carjacking where somebody run up on you and but it's been a lot of crime in the area, not to take away from it, but
And so I'd like to, and maybe I will do a deep dive into this. Uh, check to see the amount of car thefts, carjackings that result in potential uh, fatal shootings that is espoused by a specific demographic, blacks or minorities, versus that is espoused by non-blacks or whites. And I hate to break things down like that because, as I said before, I'd rather start moving away from the narrative of racism a lot, and racism as being the root cause. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, we can't rule that out, which is the bad part and the hard part of things, right? Did racism have anything to do with it? And if it did, how is this cop going to be punished? Is it simply going to be let go of from uh, one department and allowed to go to another one, and they hire them on, like we've seen happen in the past, where cops have committed atrocious acts against citizens of one area? They get released from that precinct and then simply go somewhere else and get hired on by another police department and continue to harass and victimize the citizens of another area, or how? What are the consequences at this point?
I mean, outside of the consequences, I think it needs to be more policing from the neighborhood, like for like we need police from the community as opposed to outside sources. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of policing that goes on in the community that don't know nothing about the community, don't know nothing about kids not eating. You know what I'm saying? Or having to really struggle. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So different. I'm not making excuses, but different sorts of crimes have to deal with, you know what I'm saying, the community and just a survival realm of living, you know what I'm saying? So, and then you get some people that come into the community that know about that, so they can evaluate, they can deal with certain stuff, they can talk to the community. Need to be a lot more programs set up in the community. You know what I'm saying with police and you know what I'm saying the youth as well. You know what I'm saying. Definitely the youth. I think it's the I think we, I don't know. I think we kill our youth pretty much by talking about the police, you know what I'm saying, and our
Mhm.
bad experience with the police, you know what I'm saying, coming up as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, getting them to relate with the police nowadays and getting them on a level that, boom, this is community, hey, here to help, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to putting our kids in fear, you know what I'm saying, every time they see a police officer, you know.
I think I agree with that sentiment, especially from the aspect of us policing our own communities first and policing our own communities more before external assistance is called. And that's how I'm taking that. And I agree and understand the history behind police, behind the police and behind cops. I understand that history, but and I'm not saying that's not where we are now because there's still a bit of a legacy with that. But what I'm saying is if we're not willing to police our own communities first, if we're not willing to say, hey, that ain't your car, that woman ran in the house real quick because she needed to go grab her money to go pay bills with, get out of that car. And if you don't get out of that car, I'm going to step in and me and you finna have a problem. Right.
Right.
Right. And that might end up even go into actual, the Second Amendment in some cases. But
Yeah.
at the very least, if we're not willing to police our own communities first, right? And what can we expect from uh an outside presence? Because that's what it comes down to being, especially from people who don't know what the community looks like. They don't know the environment. They don't know the people there. They don't know the struggles in the environment. They can't identify with what they might consider to be aggressive behavior, but we would look at it and be like, "Oh, that's a joke." They're just talking shit, right?
Right.
They don't understand the intricacies or the delicacies of the cultural nuances, right? Even when it comes down to just like jumping at somebody, all right, and backing up just to see
Right.
if they can flinch.
They can flinch. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have got to begin to get back to policing our own communities.
Yeah.
And regardless of how people feel about the Black Panthers back in the day, they had that absolutely 100% unequivocally, without any ifs, ands, or buts about it. They had that correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Had it correct.
Yeah,
They had
we
they
police ourselves. Yeah, like
yeah.
that's I think they go back to Wanda's statement. We need to govern ourselves. You know what I'm saying? First and accordingly. You know, without a doubt. Because without that, man, it's sad. I heard we just, you know, we should feel the same way about police shootings we feel about, you know what I'm saying, black males killing black males. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Because it's 13-year-old little kids getting killed by black males. You know what I'm saying? Every day. So
yeah, we've got to I absolutely 100% like, and I won't budge on that. We have to take responsibility and accountability for our communities. We do. And we've allowed a lot of false, or I don't even want to call them false. We've allowed teachings to influence our communities that don't really have anything to do with our communities and our cultures. And a lot of this stuff at this point is a direct reflection of that, right? And I'm not going to speak on all the various isms that come along with that. All I will say is that we began to develop this again, and I've said this on multiple different platforms on multiple different times, but we've begun to develop this whole mentality of consumerism. We've bought in and purchased everybody's idea and identity of us, that when we begin to tell other people that look like us who we are, they're the first ones to doubt us and cast us aside instead of listening to them. Now, you know what? We are better than where we are right now. We can police our own neighborhoods. We can take care of ourselves agriculturally, financially, so on and so forth. But every time we have that type of message pushed, it gets crushed and drowned out by outside influences that look like us. Look at some of our rap music. Unfortunately, that's talking about nothing but shit you can't capitalize off on. I have no use for DC Beach. I have no use for a freaking Maybach. I have no use for $350 Jordans whatsoever. Whatsoever. My kids don't either. First off, they don't work. I do. So I'm not gonna buy that type of shoe for them. That's not to say that we finna be in Payless and buying out of Payless, because good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos aren't good. So you're gonna get what you pay for. But
Correct.
we can do so much better than where we are if we stop allowing everything and everybody else to define who we are. If we already know that there's an issue with policing in America towards our cultures, why are they the first people that we call and expect a different outcome?
Moving on.
That's why this is a continuous thing.
Right.
This has become something that we continue to push on ourselves because we're not taking responsibility of our culture.
Mhm.
There should be consequences, high consequences, for the cop that shot a 13-year-old, an unarmed 13-year-old, with that had potential fatal outcomes to it. And the kid right now is like you said, he's in critical condition. So we don't even know what's going to happen. I would attempted murder, if you ask me.
Right.
So let's let's do better with our community. Got it. We have a policing problem, policing issue in America. But before we point the finger outwardly, let's take care of our own stuff and begin to police our own communities. And that's not just our culture, that's every culture in general. In general. So, all right. Let's continue with these hard discussions.
You done preaching on that topic?
Yeah, I'm done preaching on that one. That's just always not always, but since
It,
I've
it
been
always reson it just you know what I'm saying, because we always point the finger at the police, you know what I'm saying. In this case, I feel like, and then outside of not only them shooting them, they drug them away from the pump. You know what I'm saying. I didn't like how they picked them up and drug them away from the pump. And then there was the incident down where another officer, he drove and he hit the barricade, he hit the entrance of the gas station. So they all start, if you watch the video, they
yeah,
all start running down towards that officer and leave that young man that's been shot unarmed, just laying there. No medical attention, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all run. I'm saying y'all protect y'all guys, boys in blue. I understand that, but he shot, he apprehended now, you know. So now my first image of this kid is laying there in the hospital bed, handcuffed.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
my image when I because of course he did crime. If you know what I'm saying, if he was in a stolen car, okay. But now it's the image of now he shot and then handcuffed. It's just bad. It just look bad. You know what I'm saying? But definitely like not to get away from that, but just police our own community first, and a lot of this shit to stop happening. Like you said,
yeah. Big bro, sir. I'm gonna read your statement because I agree with this also. When we allow crime and gross immorality to infect our neighborhoods, we weaken the ability to promote community accountability. Our culture is a driving force in stabilizing our communities. That's facts.
that's big facts.
All facts right there. No ifs, ands, or
That's
buts.
that's basketball, smashketball, man.
Hey, sir ain't gonna talk about no basketball, but he gonna get on these community issues.
No,
Right?
always. We appreciate it.
Similar to BP. I'm not sure what BP is. This is just saying Facebook user. I'm sure you got a name, but I wonder if they would create something similar to BP. Oh, Black Panther, Black Panthers. There is a new Black Panthers movement, a new Black Panther party. I haven't done a lot of digging to see
Okay,
exactly
appreciate it.
what they. Manny, man, why you jumping on here as Facebook user? Dang, bruh. Jeez. Family on here, you on the upper as Facebook user.
This dude.
But there is a new Black Panthers party. Like I was saying, I haven't done enough research into what they've been doing and how they've been doing it to really speak intelligently on it at all. So, but I will. I definitely will. All right, moving this forward, go back and revisit Uvalde, Texas. My banners are coming up a little bit slow. Coming up. The picture's coming, I promise. Boop. It just took a little time. It took a little time. So we got to start revisiting what's going on in Uvalde, Texas. And there is a specific reason why. If you haven't been looking up or following this story, um, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what was your take on it, Cuzzo?
Uh, just horrible the way they handle it, the whole thing. Minutes after Salvador Romez or whatever his name was, the young guy that did the shooting. Minutes after he was there, they were on the scene. It was uniform officers on the scene and everything. So it was horrible the way they handled it. Then they sat outside hours, and then they listened to these kids and this what was it, two teachers, and they listened to these kids and these teachers get picked off.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying like to me. It was like it was really like a public execution. You know what I'm saying? And they sat outside and listened to it. They had ballistic gear and everything. They could have ran in there. This guy had, well, I know they didn't know at the time, but he had like no bulletproof vest or nothing like that on. You know what I'm saying? But they could have. Come on, man. After a couple shots, he could have gave the command. What's his name? Peter
Give me
Orlando. I can't
something.
remember the chief of police. I can't remember
Yeah.
his name. But
Yeah.
he could have gave the command to sit there, go in. Then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, you got people like I done heard stories of one of the teachers. One of the teachers, she called her husband. He was a police officer in Texas. She called him and told him that she was dying from her gunshot wound. This man runs up in there trying to save it, and they take his service weapon, they apprehend him and everything. Wouldn't allow him to go in and do what they were supposed to do the whole time. It was a horrible situation. Mishandled. It was mishandled wrong.
So one of the things, not in here, not right now. The girl played too much. Goodness gracious. Um, like you were saying, one of the things that's happened in this whole Wanda, you funny. What's going on, MC? What's happening is there's been so many different changes to the storyline and the investigation that it's hard to get the actual truth out of
Mhm.
what happened during the response, like you were saying there. So I took notes. So there was one of the first calls that happened at 12:03 their time, and the police waited before killing the gunman an hour and 20 minutes. During that span of time, the initial phone call was followed up by three other phone calls asking for immediate assistance. Wow, the responders had already gotten to the premises. Now, they were also not allowing parents to go in and get their kids. Give me 1 second, Cuzzo.
Right. At the same time, man, as a parent, you cannot, I know they can stop me, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're not doing that. I'm finna go in there and get my child. If y'all not finna do what y'all or assigned to do or I don't know about protocol and all that, but all I know about is my child
My
and the
kid.
safety of my child. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm after.
Yeah, if you tase me and you put me down once, hopefully you got some more tasers lined up because every time I recover, I'm running back towards getting my kids. Right? I don't. You're gonna have to keep at it or just kill me
Yeah.
because
Right.
that's the only way that I'm gonna stop to make sure that I secure the safety of my children, or I get in front of anything and anyone that's trying to harm them.
Right.
So if if that is a true statement, right? That they were tasing parents or blocking parents from getting to their children. Shame on them. Shame on all of them. You can't do that to people. You messing with people's kids' lives, man.
You
You
messing
mess
with parents' lives, you know what I'm
right.
saying? You don't know how people gonna deal with the aftershock, you know what I'm saying? The fact, how do you tell a person that I know what you're going through when you ain't never been through something like that? It's horrible. You can't do something. You can't do things like that.
Then so there was another teacher that the story began to evolve from. The mayor initially put out that the back door was left open so the shooter was able to get access to the back door. Well, since that story was put out, the teacher who was actually a part of that situation and scenario came back and corrected what was being said. So the narrative that Governor Abbott put out for the police or the police chief, whoever put it out, was a lie. What she said actually took place via her lawyers. What's going on, Kane? Was she had something out in her vehicle. She ran outside to get whatever she had in her vehicle. She saw the armed shooter approaching the school, and she ran back inside the building immediately and kicked the rock out so that the back door was closed. So that wasn't the point of entrance. Then there were like 4 or 5 other mistakes surrounding this narrative about how things happened, how the responders actually took action, celebrating, and the stories were all made up uh, to to celebrate the responders, right? So, not taking anything away from Leo's law enforcement officers, not taking anything away from them. However, if your initial response isn't immediately saving lives after assessing the situation and making sure that things are properly done, searching or cordoned off if need be, uh, you have a daggone, the guys that speak to try and litigate the situation,
Negotiators.
negotiator, right? If you know where this person is, the threat is, and you can get to them, why weren't measures taken to do that? So what was spun was the narrative that since they didn't actually go in and do what they said they did, what they said was they went in and made sure that the active shooter barricaded them himself in an area and held him in there for an hour and some change, but he's still killing people. So, what type of action did you really take outside of putting more lives in harm's way?
Right.
So, all these narratives that keep going back and forth simply show a continuing, well, they give credence to a continuous narrative that we can't trust what our politicians are saying because the mayor said something about it and he wasn't going to take back his story until he got found out and ousted about it. And we can't trust what our law enforcement saying is happening on the street because we got too many contradictions that take place, not just in this story, but in real time. In real time.
And there's always too many people hands involved in it, so we never get the true story, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's always a debriefing before any situation, so
Yep.
stop it.
Because somebody always wants to get credit for something instead of simply taking action and doing the right thing and letting that be your reward. I preached that to my soldiers a couple of weeks ago. Like I don't do this for the pay because being in my line of work, we're not ballers by any stretch, right? As a matter of fact, as it stands right now, as the national inflation rate goes up to 8.25%, they're only looking to give us. Well, last year was only about a 2.6% increase in pay, which did not keep up with the national inflation rate, right? So then you take into account the actual amount of regular groceries, so on and so forth. And the only thing that we're able to survive off on, and the reason why we're able to properly survive the way we do, is because of our BAH. Or if most of us stay on some type of an installation, we don't have to pay rent. That's
Okay. Got you. Noted.
so there's a lot that this whole Uvalde, Texas, the narrative changing, the story changing, the truth not actually being projected to the public so that we can protect our kids properly. The whole changing of it simply speaks volumes to how we cannot trust our politicians and how we should not trust the word, the initial word of local law enforcement or law enforcement, period.
Okay.
So, and that pushes us into a bit of another direction. Uh, and this was, this was one of your big things, Dirk, talking about active shooter training in schools.
Yeah. Lama, I just wanted to speak on her in Missouri for a minute.
Yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri. We had put in budget for $700,000 for security procedures. Jay Nixon knocked that down to $100,000. Said he was let me get this right, protecting core procedures, core priorities. I'm sorry. Yes. So he knocked our budget down from 700,000 to $100,000. So within that span, we haven't had active training, active shooting training, or no type of training for security measures if we had an active shooting in 6 years in St. Louis public schools.
So I was having a quick conversation about active shooting in St. Louis public schools and why I think it might not be pushed as much as in the county schools. Because let's be honest, where do these shootings usually take place?
But public school is public school. Like Parkway Central is a public school.
Right.
It's in the county, but it's a public school.
Yeah.
Rockwood is a public school.
Yeah.
So it's not just like public school as we think of like in the city and things of that measure. You know what I'm saying? Like
Louisville.
Baytown and you know what I'm saying and Beaumont and all that. No, it's public schools or county based as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So he cut the budget for them too.
he cut the budget for the whole public system.
And
Yeah,
what was his justification for that outside of this vague ass statement about?
he just said core priorities.
And so
Okay.
everybody that's listening, that's in Missouri, that's in the St. Louis area right now, I hope y'all understand what Jay Nixon. What's going on, cousin? What's happening? I hope y'all understand what
up, Margie? It had been a minute, cuz.
hey, what's going on, fam? What he's saying to y'all, especially when he makes the statement that has the word priorities in it. That means directly that your kids are not his priority. So why should he be on your ticket? Why should he be allowed to speak for you at this point? Your children aren't even a priority for him and his cronies.
That's why I put his name out there. You know what I'm saying? He's a public official here in Missouri, Jay Nixon. We've been dealing with him for years, but he get the votes, you know.
And how? Like that's foolishness. That's foolishness. U.S. citizens, y'all got to stop being stupid to these politicians. And that's the only way I know how to describe it. Is y'all are like flat out stupid. Politics has become America's new religion.
Correct.
It is not Christianity. It is not Islam. It's nothing in between. It's your political party and your political stance. That has become your religion of choice. Those folks are y'all's saviors.
And it's crazy that Americans know that both sides are every side is corrupt, but it's who you put your trust in the most. That's what's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like you know this side is not right, but this side is all right. Who you put your trust in?
And that's I understand compromise, but on some things, we can't compromise on, especially when it comes to our kids and the safety of our children, right? If you're willing to compromise on your children because you think some guy actually holds a religious view the same as you, you're an idiot. And I don't use that word lightly at all.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is really, what's going on, Cecil? If that's how you're voting, because some dude gets up on a mic and says the name of Jesus a few times, and he tells you that he or she prays every now and again, and you base your whole vote on that, you're an idiot. You are truly, unequivocally the issue with
But
what's
at
going on in America.
but at that time and in that space, that's who's going to be running certain situations. That's who's going to be running the treasury. That's who's going to be running the. You know what I'm saying? So Ray can't go up there. You can't vote for Ray. So
Shit, I don't see why not. If you push Ray and say, "Hey, Ray, you get your
can't run.
ass on the
That's
podium,"
what
and
I'm saying. So
yeah, I know you, but
yeah.
you be quiet. I mean, we had Freeman Bosley Jr. some years ago.
All right, man. We can't get off of this topic right here. About St. Louis officials.
I was just saying,
I,
but yeah,
and I,
bringing it back to schools and hey, man, y'all go somewhere. And active shooting training in schools. Um, we were looking this up the other day, and if you go to EdWeek, www.edweek.org, you can look up the amount of mass school mass shootings we've had in the year 22 alone, and
right.
that number is 27. We've had 27 active school shootings in 2022 so far
Mm,
alone.
crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and people are so caught up on Second Amendment rights being stripped that they've forgotten altogether the lives of our children that are being affected by some of the decisions that folks are making. Right? If you're going to be allowed to have a gun, which the Supreme Court just went through New York and tossed New York up and made another man, the Supreme Court been doing a lot of weird stuff here lately that I don't know about. And if y'all ain't up on it, I highly recommend you get up on it. You know, and again, we're gonna circle back around to Roe v. Wade, which was a colossal fail. But the Second Amendment, right? If you are so involved and engaged with the Second Amendment that you forget that a lot of the shootings that are happening, not just in school, but even on the streets, are done by weapons that were stolen. But that's your Second Amendment at work for you. And the only person that's held accountable or responsible for that is the victim. Truth be told, the victim, the people that are losing their lives, are the ones that are ultimately being held responsible for our overzealousness in an amendment in the Constitution. That's just how I feel about it personally.
All right.
So, golly, America, we got to do better. United States, we've got to do better. Black people, white people, orange people, brown people, and everybody in between that lives in the United States of America. We've got to do better. We should be prioritizing our children and their safety above any and everything else. That's what we need to be doing. And maybe that looks like, somebody has to have a gun. Maybe that's what that comes down to being. I don't know. I don't know.
I get you.
So anyway, that's worn me out a little bit because there's so much that I want to say and I have to say on that, but I don't. We can circle back around to that on a different podcast because that a lot of stuff with this doesn't sit well with me, to say the least. To say the least. But anyway, my bad,
No, you good. Let
my
you, man. I gonna let you vent one time for the one time. I should have fired up my black, and
bad.
it just gone. I should have played some music or something for you.
Right, right. Let me get on a soapbox.
You
But
know,
when we come over to what got you effed up, I'm gonna get on a soapbox. So
we
you
ain't
know,
about that, and we there.
we there. We are absolutely at what's got you effed up. Boom! This guy right here, his life is done.
At that moment, man, I love seeing them little videos at that moment. Peter knew he effed up.
Right. Yeah, dude blew it on this one. So what you got, cuz? I know we had started talking about it a little bit, and you said you was gonna wait for a second, but what got you effed up outside of Ray J versus?
Yeah, his singing was horrible and atrocious. And just like the way some of these parents are raising their kids, bro. I got a 6-year-old little kid that be out here 8, 9 o'clock at night.
What?
Twins in the crib. He come knocking on my door at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I just sent you home 3 hours ago. When I told you I was bringing them in, you coming back seeing if they can come outside. You know, so me, I got a good heart. My family got a good heart. So we try to take the little kid under our wing because we know he out here all summer long. 11 o'clock he come over at the crib. You know what I'm saying? We got him to I put him out like 5, 7 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? No way, no how, cuz no way, no how. Heights the bias. They 5. They don't turn 6 to September. This little kid, he's 6, and I swear he about 16. Swear he about 16. But then he be coming over here, be trying to, what I'm saying, take over stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that. We be teaching them manners. I open my door. My wife opened the door the other day. He come in the door. He just started walking in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How you doing? How you doing, such and such? You know what I'm saying? We trying to speak to the kid. How you doing, such and such? He steady walking through the door. Hey, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, bro. How you doing? We trying to teach them manners and stuff.
Right,
I ain't got
right.
time to be raising nobody else's kid, bro.
Take a village. Where are his parents?
Right down the street, sitting on the porch, chilling. Little
Wow.
dude out here, like I say, I put him out about 7 o'clock. All right, come on, y'all, man. They finna take baths. Oh, damn.
It's
I ain't
too
mean
late.
that.
Keep it going. Keep going. Nobody tripped off of it.
Right. What I'm saying? I'm putting you, I gotta put you out, son. You know what I'm saying? The boys finna go in and take their little baths and stuff, get ready for bed and stuff. He like, all right, I'm finna go up here to boot apart. No, no, the sun is down. Go home, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the last spot that I know of that you done left. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't want that on my kind of go home. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch you go home. Go home.
Right, right.
Man, I watch him go home, and then I look out my window. He riding past me. You know what I'm saying? On his bike, going back up the opposite way I told him not to go. He a disrespectful little kid. Say, man, pick the trash up, son. Hey, throw your trash in the trash can. Dude looked at me and say, "Oh, that's a recycling bin." Hey, bro, go home. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And like trying to be respectful. I mean, not respectful, but trying to, because I don't know his situation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
right,
trying to help him out. You know what I'm saying? Come over here. He taking drinks out. You know what I'm saying? From outside. Why you taking the hot drinks, son? We got cold drinks inside. Whole situation, cause like, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm on him because that's who I see. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole issue down the street. His mama need to do better.
like what is she just doing? Well, you know what? You probably don't know. You got a kid, man, and
And,
that's
and, and that's where I'm at, sir. I know he'll never forget the love that he getting from this household. But he come over. My son was pissed off the other day. He ready to throw hands with him. You hear me? Like he hit me. You know what I'm saying? And I told him to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like over here, bro. Hey, stop me and stop. Hey,
right,
if somebody tell you name with that, hey, cut that out. But he want to know. He want to keep on going, and you know what I'm saying. And then he like, I'm playing. So I pulled him in. I'm like, hey son, why you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we was just playing. My son like, nah, bro, I told you to stop. You know what I'm saying? And when I say stop, I mean stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to see my son in that state, like you know what I'm saying? Like, get it together, man. But it ain't on him, and then it ain't him. Not just me, man. We standing outside the other day, and we letting the kids pop fireworks that we had left over last year. Man, I had about three neighbors pull up on me, like, "Hey, that little dude, watch him." What? Wait a minute. So I'm having a conversation with my neighbors as well. Like, so it's bad, man. It's bad.
Wow. That's sad to hear. That's sad to hear. And she well, I'm glad he has you and Kiana and the family
That's what it's
around.
becoming right there. What
Yeah,
Maya said. That's what it's becoming. It's becoming draining.
yeah.
Like, boom. Like, look, we at the movies. We took the kids to see the buzz. We at the movies. He just rang my doorbell. Boom, boom, boom. But it's going off on our phone while we in the movies. Bing, 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 bing. My wife like, hey, if we don't answer after two ring, we not home. She talking to him over the camera and stuff, and he like, well, I see the kids' shoes in the house.
Oh,
Go
now we lying
on,
to you.
bro. Now you looking through my house. Now you looking through. You know what I'm saying? It's draining and it's horrible because it's not his fault, but it's go ahead, cuz you muted. Look, he muted.
How about now?
There you go.
All right. I was looking at a spider. I was trying to kill it, and I think I might have unplugged my mic or something. No, it's still alive. I'll get him later. And now they shook. I killed a spider. But
Uh,
I was just saying, like, at least he got you and Kiana, uh, giving him some resemblance of what right looks like. And he may not get it now, but later on in the future, hopefully he doesn't find himself in a position of trouble to where he can't get himself out of it. But he'll have a quick flashback, like, damn, I remember, and I used to go down the street and play with the kids down there, and their parents was like showing me love, correcting me, and giving me guidance and taking me in, giving me cool drinks, so on and so forth. When my old bird was just out here sitting on the front porch, watching time go by.
hit you, bro.
Cause that's a tough place for the kid to be, man. I hate to hear that. He's a sponge right now at his age, and he's not being properly equipped and taught.
Right.
And unfortunately, we might all end up paying for those bad behaviors that he's not getting or that he's learning now.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? When we ain't there, he trying to open the door to see if we, you know what I'm saying, trying to walk in. He questioning the code on my door pad and stuff, trying to get in. Jumping my fence in the backyard. Say, hey son, man, you end up hurting yourself. That's on me.
Right.
It ain't resonating with him. But come on, bro, you can't be jumping. Oh, your backyard like a playground. I understand, but no, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you can't be doing that.
You might have to put up a sign and say no trespassing just for liability's sake.
We done
So
had to. We done already had to.
yeah. So if something happened to little dude and y'all ain't there, and his old bird get to pulling that I'ma sue you card. No trespassing.
Yeah, we done already had to.
Wow. That's tough.
Mhm.
That's tough.
I sleep all that up. Don't worry about that.
That got me kind of effed up too. I wanna come home and come to the St. Louis and be like, hey, little daddy, you coming with me, man? I'm gonna hang. You gonna hang out with me for the summer?
And then to her, I know she a single mother, but then to her from all the other parents, you know what I'm saying, that in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Hold
I
up.
got you, sir. I got you, sir. Instead of sending them home, I will walk them home. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that he get home. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I say, I don't watch them. I don't watch them go home. Well, watch them head down the block, and then when he think I'm in the door, when I close my door, I part the blind. He he shooting past me. You know. So yeah, I got you, sir. Notated.
Yeah, that's tough. But I will. That got me kind of effed up. Also, it really did.
Boy,
So I was going to actually end up going on a different tangent on what's got me effed up. But since we started down this road, I'm gonna stick with it. And we're talking about Roe v. Wade being overturned at the federal level, right? I don't know how much you've read into that just yet,
I
but
haven't. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the.
I read a lot of Justice Alito's bull crap on it and his perspective from it, and I didn't agree with any of it whatsoever. I didn't agree with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I absolutely agree with. I think that abortions should be a protected thing, and I think that the right to privacy should be a protected thing. Um, but what's really got me effed up about the situation is again the U.S. citizens, because a lot of U.S. citizens half-ass know what they talk about. It's always a quick emotional high once they a response once they see something in the headlines, and then they go out in the streets and they march about it and they shed tears and burn stuff up. But nobody's actually settled down enough to make any actual change or to read about what's actually happening. So with Roe v. Wade, with the federal government overturning Roe v. Wade, they pushed it back down to uh, the lower states, well, the lower courts at the state level. And what can happen at this point is instead of defaulting to what US citizens always default to, which is to fight each other, to leave the politicians out of it and let them continue to bust us over the head. What they have the ability to do at this point is at the state litigating level, they can take what they want to have happen to those representatives and tell them this is what we want to have happen as far as abortion is concerned. Even though there are some states that have already pushed through, tried to push through a bunch of litigation. So the reappearance of Roe v. Wade was made popular because of some things that was happening in Mississippi earlier this year, and they put it back up on the chopping block. And that's when, like, shortly after that, things got leaked that was showing the citizens that Roe v. Wade was about to get overturned. And then they let it die down a little bit, and here we are facing this catastrophic decision at the federal level, but no one's actually thought about what we can do at the state level, which you actually have a bit more power at the state level and the local level than what you do with the federal system.
Okay.
So this is what I anticipate happening. Citizens getting upset about this, regardless of where they fall on the topic, and citizens fighting each other about the topic. And it's going to happen for a few months. But all of those citizens that are fighting each other are never going to look up at the actual positions that made the decisions and go at them. It's just going to be a big hoopla. Hey, you live across the street from me. I make $33,000. You make 35. I'm going to be upset with you because you agree with the decision that somebody else made higher than you. We're not going to change anything, but we're going to be pissed off. We're going to have misdirected anger with no actual action behind it. And while we're doing that, while all of that is happening, the same people that made the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and other horrible political decisions are going to continue to make horrible decisions while we continue to fight each other. We've never stopped to take a look at the people who are doing this to us and make them act differently. Our actual thought is to look across the street and make somebody else do better, quote unquote. Make somebody else believe in the same type of Jesus that we believe in, because since we believe in this type of Jesus, it's got to be right. And the Jesus you believe in has to be wrong. So you need to believe in what I believe in instead of just letting people live, not infringing on other person's right to believe what they want to believe, govern themselves the way they want to govern themselves, but make sure everybody has the space and ability to do that. That's not what's going to happen. It's simply going to be an upcry and a large crowd of people yelling at each other that don't affect any change whatsoever. They're going to keep screwing us over because we, the people, we love this game of politics. Like I said, it's the new American religion, politics.
Yeah. We have another discussion on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what got me effed up today, man. I'm finna get ready to go take these babies to party. So final thoughts, cuzzo, what you got?
Oh, as always, man, love your people. Stop the evil. Give them their roses while they're here. Man, show the love, man. You know me, I'm a lover. I love. Hey, I'm a lover.
Feel it. I feel it. I guess my final thoughts are let's do our best to protect each other. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. But the one thing that I will make sure that I do for the other person that I don't agree with is give them the space and availability to voice their opinion and to live. So let's all do that for each other. And those are my final thoughts. So with that being said, once again, we'd like to thank y'all for coming out. And the wise words of Def Jam, the old school Def Jam, Russell Simmons. Thank you for coming out. God bless and good
Good
night.
night.
And good night.
You do it.
Yeah.
All right.